Okay, hey everyone, it's Erica here, and we are here today to talk about something called soul fragmentation. So, soul fragmentation is something that happens to your soul, and um, it is a way of it's almost like a survival mode, um, as such for your body. And I'll give you some examples. Basically, if you are like, if you're seeing something, if you're picturing something like with your third eye, think about soul fragmentation. For example, I just got done healing my own soul fragmentation with one of my healer ladies. That's what's kind of inspiring me to talk about this, because this is twice now that I've had to heal soul fragmentation. Um, and so I wanted to bring it to attention because it is quite it's quite an amazing thing. And that's looking at it from like a neutral perspective, okay? Now, if you are seeing a soul fragmentation, what it basically is like, how I see is like an oval of like a soul base. And then it's almost like if you were to shatter glass and there's pieces of like sharpness, and all those pieces just go. They all just leave. They break apart and go. Okay. Mine had 7 pieces. And this number may be significant for each individual for different reasons. But the fact that it's just fragmented at all and literally broken, okay, it goes away. Now, this is what is going on with a lot of human beings on this earth, okay? Not everyone would notice something like this. That's the thing, because not many people are actually really in tune or want to be in tune or have any idea at all. Now, it's not always the people. Like, you may not have any clue about this because you could have had soul fragmentation from so early on that you don't know any different. So, oh gosh, my battery. Okay, so when something traumatic happens to your soul, and like this is just wild, because hang on, I'm gonna plug this in. Okay, let's hope that stays. I'm kind of holding it. Not many people are aware of how different it feels when you are like activating your soul. So I learned something that I'm sharing about, your soul is like, it really is a living being part of you. And just so many people are so disconnected from their soul. And that's being brought to light right now. So, because I am very, soul led, I knew something was off. I knew some shit because I went back to feeling the horrible ways I was feeling, especially about my karmic ex-husband. Not ex-husband. Yeah, ex-husband. See? This healing even made me, ex-husband. Like the fact that I would refer to him as my ex-husband and not my husband. Okay? So before, I was like highly traumatized by so much. It was like almost shattered, like tons of pieces. And when I first got into this healing journey and everything, that wasn't even like one of the first things that I got to learn about. Like, this is more recent. This is like the second time ever was today. And the first time was only like a few months ago. So what I have learned is that, you know, this soul is living being part of you. And certain things can like tear at it, even like rip it. And when it gets super bad, it can even rip apart, but sometimes it just literally breaks and fragments. And that's where you're going to get like an all of a sudden kind of glass pieces out. So I'm going to tell you about this second time here. The second today. I knew something was off because I had already started thinking different ways and I was really moving forward. But I knew something was off because I was very abnormally back to old patternings, which they're not that old. Like, I mean, I go like when some of those patterns resurface, like that really, really much the abandonment patterns, and then I have to feel it again, like, and be sad about it. That's like old stuff coming back to haunt me and getting it, like, feeling, making my body like feel this stuff. So it's like really strange sometimes. Anyways, anything can do it. Like, it's something unpleasant that does it, obviously, but I mean that can range various degrees of traumatic incidences. So this one in particular was I got overtaken by an entity, a spirit, no one of any significance, no one that was sent to me in an evil way, and no one that, like, I don't know, it was just a random spirit. And like, I knew I had felt off because if you recall, and if you've ever watched my video on reptilian, my experience with a reptilian entity, I was feeling, oh, not even, like, I mean, 1/10 of how I felt when I was overtaken by a reptilian. Like, in no way are we going to compare that to this, but this was still bad. Like, this was, well, and get this, apparently, and this is how this happens, like, my light was shining so bright that this spirit literally thought, like, I was the call home. Like, nah, nigga, no. So it like attached itself into me and like started like releasing its pain, you know, like deep sadness, deep trauma, like all kinds of pain, you know. And so it was so painful on my soul to feel that the soul broke and fragmented and went away. And so my body was, you know, I'm still feeling all this shit with my body. And it felt like, you know, more heaviness. It felt like sadness, like all this shit that nobody likes, right? And so my healer, Louise, and if anybody is interested in Louise Rachel, what is her last name? I'll check by the end of the video, but she's got a website. and I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, miracle worker. Like, and I have like 2 videos that I was going to talk about like before, like this other healing that she had done, but this is definitely something notable, you know, if you're into learning about this kind of thing or maybe experiencing that. So it turns out my light was so bright that this spirit, you know, go to the light, go to the light. Well, that was me. So, like, I was feeling a certain type of way. I knew something was off. I was like, I can't really be, like, of all the good work I've been doing on myself, I'm thinking I really can't be here where literally nothing's changed. And I was back in that spot where nothing's changed, and it's very weird. And then so things started coming back in my 3D reality, especially with my karmic husband. It's like, because like I think he gets, like they say the narcissist will be more attracted when they see like a wounding or something that they can like kind of feed off of or something. So my soul being fragmented has really brought my karmic situation around. Like, we got into a fight yesterday, like a screaming fight, in my driveway yesterday. And that has not happened since like, oh, a long time, months, maybe over a year. Like, that was commonplace when we were actually together. Sometimes there were periods where it didn't happen, but you know, yeah. It's like, how can you not argue with somebody who literally fucking fucks you over and treats you like shit when you're literally just looking for support and love? And then tell you that you're crazy because you are trying to communicate that? Yeah, fucked. Like, I don't want somebody that does that to me. And if they're not willing to change, you know, that is horrible. But like, you can't just stay with it. You know, you can't just stay with it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're thinking that you may have soul fragmentation, like, you need to do something about that. Now, there are some guided meditations on here that if you're kind of more advanced, I think you can call pieces of your soul back, like when you maybe have like whatever, I don't know, like, but this was like a serious thing. Like, we went up, I can't even remember what plane she said, but like, she does the stuff. Like, so I had some loose boundaries with spirit, with the spiritual world, and also with humans, which is, you know, how I've gotten into some of these very bad situations, because I had like 0 boundaries. I didn't even know what fucking boundaries even were. Literally. Like, so yeah, but now I do know what some boundaries are, and I'm like, I really understand that if somebody wants to cross the boundaries of what makes me comfortable, then they're not a person that I should have around. And that goes for anybody. So she was able to use a Theta healing method to remove some information that I had in my brain that told me that, you know, I'm okay with entities like coming and taking me over, you know. And so she was able, we could send this off. We can just release old patterns, because the new me has boundaries. Yeah. So I've learned the hard way twice now, and probably more than twice, because I mean, really. The crazy thing is that, like, there's a lot of spirits going around now. And when you're an empath, you pick up on that shit. Like, half these people, that's what I'm going back to say. Half of these people with the soul fragmentation, listen here. And this is like why it's up to us light workers to kind of like get attention on this. They don't even know their soul's fragmented, and like they're just continuing to live not from a soul perspective. And that's literally why there's just so much evil in the world. So, if you are someone that was able to even be aware of this and like take steps to get your soul fragmentation back, good for you, because it is a lot of deep diving. I mean, I've been doing some healing for a while. Now I feel like I feel a little bit better about this. Like when she pieced me back together the first time, she really did tell me, she's like, I doubt that you would ever need to do this again. Most of the time you put it back together, but she said, if there's a lot of stress or if something else traumatic happens, like, I mean, your soul's going to do what it does. Like, it won't just gravitate away for no reason. So, having that entity come into me and then start like which, what I have to say, my soul did save me by fragmenting. And this is how people have subconscious patterning that does actually save them. But at the same time, having it done is hurt in itself, if you can dig that. So the reason why the soul fragmented was because the spirit had dark thoughts and memories, and that's not something I need to take on. So before it could really infiltrate my psyche, my soul said, nope, we out, girl, we out. But it's all back now. It's all back now. Okay? Like, it's back. And I'm going to try to just, really, a lot of people think like this is not even a serious thing, but like talking to your soul, like nice, is really a necessary thing, because like different pieces of you, if they don't feel safe, like, it's... So tell me, start a discussion in the comments. Have you experienced soul fragmentation? If so, how did you get yours back together? Do you think you might have soul fragmentation? And are you a healer of soul fragmentation? Yeah, so if any of those, comment below, please. And here's the cool thing. Since I met this healer lady, I've had 3 really, really beneficial healing sessions with her. But on top of that, she has a group for twin flames, and she does some of these mini healings in there. And I have felt completely renewed by some of the energy that she really sends out for us. Like, she is something else. And she is actually going to be teaching this method, Theta healing, it's called. Some of it. She does like different kind of healings, so I don't know, like I don't want to like specifically say what it was she did that was the Theta, because I think that's just when she like heals you from like higher realms, maybe. Don't quote me. But like um she's going to be teaching her ways. And like, this is not a cheap party trick, people. Like, this is a valuable, like, miraculous thing that she can do. So like, I'm thinking I would love to be able to do that. And she kind of told me too, she's like, if you learned how to do this, you could always put yourself back together. You can offer that service to others. And I'm thinking, I do like learning new things and learning new ways to heal, and part of my business, you know, and, you know, I'm into it. It would be a good skill to have. I could just heal my whole family's fragments, you know, heal myself if need be, heal anyone that needed it. Because she can get this stuff like going. Like today I had a mini session. And so that was 15 minutes, but before I did a half hour, and I've also done an hour. So like, you know, you can definitely really make a very big difference for someone in just a small amount of time, which is really nice because people like that. I like that. I'm busy, you know, I like when these healers can kind of just get in, get to the problem, fix it, and be cool, be done. Like, I'm all for the longer drawn out courses, and like healing little by little was kind of how I started. But when I realized you can heal like big by big, that's better. You know, it's both good, but you know, it's whatever. So, um, yeah, I will be speaking more in depth about theta healing in the future. But yeah, this was more about just soul fragmentation. And yeah, so it's like, it is a lot of people, in which I'm going to look into this. A lot of people do these, you know, just a lot of soul work, like, which is going back to talking to yourself like gently and nicely. But I think if you keep up on this, like I'm thinking people keep up on this, you know, and then it's probably less likely that even if you do have like a pretty big tear, you may be able to repair it yourself, and then you won't get to the point of where it completely fragments again. But so during this, like, my soul could possibly get fragmented again, but this whole thing, let's hope not anyway, but this whole thing was more about, okay, other spirits and other entities are not going to be able to enter me, because now I have boundaries around that. So I mean, if something else tragic happens to me, you know, possibility my soul might dip out again to help me from feeling that. But luckily I know enough now to be able to get it back. But it's like I only caught on after about 4 days, because like, you know, every once in a while I'll have a day where I kind of, or even a half a day where I kind of feel real sad, and I'll really revert back to the old patterning of like, oh my God, like um the abandonment mostly is very painful. And like right now I can talk about abandonment, and I can acknowledge it, but I'm not feeling sad about it anymore because you know what I mean? Like I'm back to like the newer mindset. So like that's a pretty big indication. If I can't shake a little something off after like a day, it was like about 4 days and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Seriously, I thought I was maybe on my way. I thought I was like, you know, so I caught it. You got to be really in tune with yourself, you know, like a lot of people are not in tune with themselves. So, I mean, if like you're even watching this, you probably are or like want to be. So look at this lighting going down. The lights are going down. I got this tiny kitten. So yeah, soul fragmentation. Look into it. It's a thing. All right. Bye.